In this module, we will look at the A320 fire protection system for the engine and the APU, the avionics smoke system, and the cargo smoke system. Assuming that the A340 and the A330 fire protection systems are identical, we will refer to these aircraft as LR, long range, and compare their systems to their A320 equivalents. Compared to the long range, the A320 engine and APU fire controls are grouped on the same fire panel. This fire panel contains one fire and two agent push-button switches for each engine, and one fire and only one agent push-button switch for the APU. Like the long range, the test push buttons test the operation of the respective fire detection and extinguishing systems. The only difference to note is that on the A320 there is one engine fire test push button per engine. Let's carry out an engine fire test and see what happens. Observe that the master warning light illuminates red and the CRC sounds. The engine fire push buttons illuminate red and the squib and discharge lights come on. The associated warning on the engine warning display appears. The fire light on the engine master panel illuminates. Note, the engine ECAM page is also automatically displayed. Like the long range, only smoke detection is provided for the avionics system. On the A320, one detector instead of two on the long range is located in the air extraction duct under the forward cargo compartment floor. But, unlike the long range, the smoke detector is not linked to the SDCU. The smoke detector sends signals directly to the ECAM, which displays a warning in the cockpit. On the A320, the Gen 1 line push-button switch, located on the emergency electrical power panel, replaces the avionics smoke indication of the long range. As the A320 and the long range have a different avionics smoke procedure, you will see the indications associated with the A320 procedure in more detail in the fire drill module. The cargo smoke panel is located on the overhead panel and provides indications on cargo smoke. A total of 6 smoke detectors are installed in the cargo compartments. There are 2 detectors in the forward compartment, 4 in the aft compartment. Each detector is linked to one of the 2 independent detection loops. The Smoke Detection Control Unit, SDCU, receives signals from the detectors and transmits them to the ECAM for warning display in the cockpit. Like the long range, the A320 cargo compartments are also protected by a fire extinguishing system. On the A320, only one fire extinguishing bottle is installed in the forward cargo compartment. On the cargo smoke panel, the 2 guarded discharge push buttons control the fire bottle. Each push button switch controls one squib or discharge head of the bottle. When pushed, the fire bottle is completely emptied in the corresponding compartment. The fire extinguishing agent is discharged either via one nozzle in the forward compartment or via 2 nozzles in the aft compartment. You will see the cargo smoke procedure in more detail in the fire drill module. In this module, we will look at the avionics smoke and the forward cargo smoke procedures, which are different from the long-range ones. You are in cruise and everything is normal. On the engine warning display, read the title of the failure. The message Avionics Smoke with the associated procedure is displayed. The electrical page is shown on the SD. Amber Fault illuminates in the blower and extract push buttons of the ventilation panel. Simultaneously, an amber smoke illuminates in the Gen 1 line push button switch of the emergency electrical power panel. This light replaces the red smoke light found on the long-range ventilation panel. In case of avionics smoke, you should refer at once to our QRH or FCOM. Let's have a look at the corresponding procedure. The procedure described in FCOM 3, Abnormal and Emergency, or the QRH, will allow you to detect the smoke sources. This procedure contains all the steps shown on the engine warning display. The paper procedure is written in such a way as to help you find what is the actual smoke source. If air conditioning smoke is suspected, you will have to isolate the packs one by one to identify the faulty one. If cabin equipment smoke is suspected, you will have to try to identify the faulty equipment. If unsuccessful, you may try to switch off the bus tie and Gen 2. If avionics smoke warning still persists after 5 minutes, you will have to set the electrical emergency configuration. We will consider that smoke is coming from the avionics compartment, so we can apply immediately the ECAM procedure. On the ventilation panel, the extract and blower push-button switches are both in the override position, meaning that the air is extracted from the air conditioning system and then vented overboard. The two cabin fans are stopped, as indicated by the cabin fan's push-button switch in the off position. If smoke remains after 5 minutes, the situation leads to an electrical emergency configuration, which is more critical compared to the A340-300. During this procedure, autopilot and autothrust will no longer be available. We will end the study of the avionics smoke here. You will practice it in more detail in the simulator. Let's now study the cargo smoke procedure. You are in cruise. On the engine warning display, the message Forward Cargo Smoke with the associated procedure is displayed. At the same time, a red smoke light on the cargo smoke panel illuminates and the COND page is displayed on the SD. The forward cargo isolation valves are closed automatically. If this had not happened, the corresponding line would have been added to the ECAM procedure. Go ahead and perform the ECAM action. Notice that both discharge lights illuminate. This is because there is only one fire extinguisher bottle for both cargo compartments. It means there is no fire agent left for a possible aft cargo smoke warning. Note: expect the smoke warning to remain on after agent discharge, even if the smoke source is extinguished. Gases from the smoke source are not evacuated, and smoke detectors are sensitive to the extinguishing agent.